All right, let's draft this AFC North defensive squad. There were probably 4 for me, maybe 5 that were really, really easy. But after that, it was hard. It got a lot more difficult than it was with the offense.
The only thing hard for me was corner.
I struggled big.
That was the only one I really struggled with.
Yep, I did too.
I broke it down as
is this just off last year? This is why I struggled with it. I didn't know what the parameter was.
Right. Well,
I think you can make it up.
Left that vague.
I kind of did.
If you based it just on last year, Denzel wouldn't be on the team.
Correct.
Well, probably not.
Right.
But I put him on the team
I did
because
too,
I gotta have him on there.
All right, what do we got?
We
here,
are
Mike?
starting with the 4 edge rushers, and just to give people the reasoning why we decided to go 4 edge rushers, 2 D tackles, 2 linebackers, that is the model the All-Pro team is based off of. So we went 4 edge rushers, which combines defensive ends, outside linebackers.
And a lot of those guys are hybrid.
Exactly.
So.
By the way, I left out, I don't know about you guys, but I left out guys who are going to be free agents. Like, I didn't.
Well, we did that with the offense.
Right. Jermaine Pratt of the Bengals and Jessie Bates of the Bengals probably would both be on the team.
I did put Bates on because I'm just assuming they're going to re-sign Bates, aren't they?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, they got to spend a lot of. They got to re-sign Higgins. They got to spend on Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to re-sign Bates. They might franchise him again.
I thought that's what they do because they've got one more year at that.
You could put him in, but I did. I thought there was a guy good enough to leave him out. But
okay.
Anyway.
So who's our first edge rusher we're taking?
Well, let's go with Myles Garrett. Right?
I go Myles Garrett.
That's what I had.
Yeah. Easy money.
My second one was T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt.
Easy
Everybody
money.
agree? Bull, who you got as third?
Third is Trey Hendrickson.
I have him too.
Easy money.
I had Alex Highsmith third and Hendrickson fourth.
Really? I thought about Highsmith, but I put Hendrickson on there too. So you had we all have Hendrickson.
I didn't. After 1 and 2, I didn't really necessarily rank them.
See, I had Hendrickson 3, and I put Hubbard 4.
I've got Hubbard. We have the same
because
4.
Hubbard is the best outside rusher that's also a good run stopper.
Yeah.
He's the best run stopper of all these guys.
And you need someone like that.
Yeah. I thought it was between Hubbard and Highsmith for the last spot. And obviously Highsmith had a bunch of sacks last year.
With Wyatt.
All right, so Garrett, Wyatt, and Hendrickson are unanimous.
Yes.
So now we're deciding between
Hubbard and Highsmith.
I took Hubbard.
You took Hubbard too?
Yeah.
3-1.
All right. That's easy. That's almost unanimous.
Okay.
That was my 4.
So just to move on here, let's take tag word full. We'll get a visual to confirm. But Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson, and Sam Hubbard are our 4 edge rushers. We took Hubbard over Alex Highsmith of the Steelers, which gives us our front 4 edge rushers.
Yeah, and Highsmith obviously had a lot more sacks than Hubbard. But I'm like, I'm going to get plenty of sacks from Garrett, Watt, and Hendrickson. Hubbard's fine in the pass game, but he's the best in the run game. That's why I chose him.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So moving on to defensive tackles and inside linebackers here.
The first defensive tackle.
I've got Cam Hayward.
To me, it's easy that it's Cam Hayward and DJ Reader.
Yeah, that's the only two I could.
Those are
the only two that jumped into my mind right away.
They're they're both top 10 defensive tackles.
Are we agreeing that?
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay, so far we're 6
Can I throw one name out there just for consideration?
Sure.
And I wasn't sure if he fit into the
Taven Bryan? You throwing Taven Bryan in there?
Stop.
But Calais Campbell of the Ravens, who's he's older,
he's
still
a
a high-quality player.
Yeah, but he's good, but not as good as
Hayward. Hayward's older too, but he's not as good as Reader and Hayward.
No.
I didn't think.
Yeah, no.
Those guys are. He's good. Those guys are elite.
A couple years ago, he would have.
Right, sure.
Okay.
A couple years ago.
So this is pretty. We're just zipping right through this defensive, all defensive AFC North team.
Yep.
This is where it's going to get interesting. Inside linebacker. Logan Wilson. Everybody have Logan Wilson?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So everybody's a yes on Logan Wilson. The second one might be interesting.
It is. I had Roquan Smith as my other guy.
Yep, I did too. But I thought funny about that. I'm like, God, I don't even really look at him as a Raven, but he's a Raven.
Yeah.
He's a Raven.
But see, Logan Wilson. But you know what's so crazy is I thought about it tough with Jermaine Pratt. Jermaine Pratt
actually had a great year, but he's a free agent, so that's why I left him out.
So
yeah, I see it. But he was really good 2 years. I got Roquan Smith. I thought that was a big one with
Logan Wilson.
Yep, him and Logan Wilson.
So we're unanimous, guys.
Yeah.
We've got 8 guys on the team.
Let me ask Bo a question real quick.
Yeah.
When we did our draft of the 16 best players in the AFC
Jermaine Pratt. I just left Pratt off because he's a free agent.
So would he have been your choice over Wilson had you included free
which one do you like better?
I think Logan Wilson over his Bengal career has been better than Jermaine Pratt.
Right.
But this year I thought Pratt was Pratt's game went way up this year.
Yeah.
Perfect timing for him because he's a free agent.
Prove it year.
He was a monster.
Yeah.
But they're both really good.
Right.
They were really good.
Now, is Smith? Did he have more time on his deal when the Ravens traded for him? How much time does he?
No, Roquan was going to be a free agent.
So he's just
they locked him up though.
Well, they signed him to a long-term deal.
Yeah, they did. You're right. Right after they signed him.
Yeah.
He maybe before they
I
traded
didn't
for
even
him.
know. You know Pratt's coverage grade is an 87.
He was phenomenal this year.
He was great. PFF. He has the best PFF grade of any of the linebackers.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is ridiculous. Hey, listen, hey, can we get him? Is he tired, or why would the Bengals not bring him back?
A lot of people have talked about the Browns getting Jessie Bates. I think Jessie Bates is a good player.
Well,
I think the Browns need Jermaine Pratt way more than they need Jessie Bates.
Pratt's going to command big money.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid.
Big
perfect timing.
Okay, so now we're just on to we've got 5 spots left.
And I can tell you,
the 3 corners, this is going to be tough.
This one got tough.
Safeties.
I asked Bull last night and Jason just to send me their list so I could see where they may differentiate to make some graphics.
Right.
The edges were essentially unanimous. Linebackers the same. This was very different. So I'm curious to see where you guys fall to see which way you're in line with.
Well, I really struggled over this.
Who's CB1? Let's go CB1 first.
I had Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, Humphrey's got to be 1.
Okay, we're all in agreement there.
Yep.
You agree with
Yep.
that? Okay.
Yep.
Now this is where it's all gonna go to hell.
I know
in a good way. In a good way.
And you know what? It's going to be our hearts are going to get in the process here. If we were just going off last year, Denzel Ward is not in my top 3.
Correct.
No, because you would either go with maybe Emerson. You could go with Cheetah Bay Awuzie of the Bengals, although he missed the second half of the season.
I was really strongly considering.
Yeah,
I considered him, but he didn't make my list.
This is an easy.
But
one.
I went with Ward in the end. What do you got?
I did too.
I went with Martin Emerson. He was by far the better corner last year, and it wasn't even close.
But I wasn't doing it
So
just
did
based
Jason,
on
by
this
the way.
past.
I went with both Ward and Emerson.
So did I.
Both on.
Well, so did I, because I do think that you're right. Emerson played better last year. Emerson's upside might, in the end up being higher than Ward.
I think he is.
I think he's more built for that position.
He's bigger,
bigger,
Denzel,
longer. His
Hopefully-
cover skills were amazing. Now, he did have some time. He had some plays that I'm like, ooh, okay, he looks like a rookie right there. But for the most part, he outplayed Ward. I just couldn't leave Ward off.
Right.
Because he's Denzel Ward and he's done so much.
But here's the thing. When it comes to the third corner, I picked Mike Hilton because, to me, the third corner's got to be a slot corner.
Well, I
And
thought
Mike
about
Hilton's
that
the
too.
best
We don't
slot
have
corner.
a slot corner, but here's the thing. If
Yeah.
you take the 3 best corners, you're better than if you take 2 outside corners and a slot corner.
I don't agree with that in this
Why?
case because I think Mike Hilton would be a much better slot corner than either Emerson or Denzel Ward.
You
I don't
agree
even
with
think
that,
No,
Jay?
I disagree.
I do too.
You put Denzel Ward in the slot, he's going
You
to be
can
just
put
fine.
any of these top-tier corners in the slot, and they're going to be great.
Not Emerson.
Yeah, but Mike.
No, I don't want Emerson in the slot. I want Emerson on the outside.
It's not like Mike Hilton's a slappy. He's a really good
He's
player.
not a slappy, but I just in my
All right, I got outvoted. That's
pecking
fine.
order.
Let's go. So we got.
Okay, so for
I
CB2, are we going
Humphrey-
with Denzel Ward for CB2? Are we going Martin Emerson?
I would
It
put
could
Emerson.
be Emerson.
I
I'd
would
be
put Emerson.
fine with Emerson.
So Martin Emerson Anthony, we can officially put as CB2. Now CB3.
Now, by the way, last year, if I'm wrong, I could be wrong on this. Wasn't Greg Newsome looked at as a top 2 corner in the North last year?
Greg Newsome got a better grade than Denzel Ward.
Denzel's PFF grade was bad.
Horrible.
This year.
Yeah.
His coverage rating was a 60.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of metrics with our stuff at True Media. It's the data that we use at The Athletic. That Newsome had a much better year analytically than what we all said,
yes.
than what the whole media said, the
Right.
entire media.
But the only reason I bring that up is I know he doesn't want to play the slot, but we've got in the top 3 Emerson and the guy that got paid in Ward, and now you throw Newsome in there with a defensive coordinator that knows what to do with all this talent. Guys,
Yeah.
I know, dare I say this, that's the way you want to be built in the AFC right now.
Sure.
You want 3
Right.
Pro Bowl caliber corners, and I think if if Ward can return to what he used to be before he got the big contract,
Well,
I think we got the best
And Emerson's
triumphant
got to
of
prove
corners.
it again for a second year.
Yeah,
I
he
was
does.
Got to prove it again.
I would be tempted to pull a move that the the Steelers and the Ravens pulled a while ago. Back in the day, Roger Woodson was a corner. Then he was a safety.
Yeah, right. Move one of them to
If
safety.
Martin Emerson can play free safety, he's big. He can tackle people. He's physical. He
And
got
then you
good
could put
ball.
Newsom
He's the only one you could do that.
Right,
with,
and then you could put Newsom back on the
Put
outside.
Newsom right on the outside. Move
I don't
Grant
know what I
Delpit
wanna
to
do.
strong safety.
Emerson was so good on the
I
outside.
know.
I wouldn't want to
It's
move.
an
Well, who we
interesting
going
thought,
with?
though. It is an interesting thought.
Who are we going with the third corner? Are you guys picking Ward?
Yeah.
Because I would take Hilton, but
I took Sutton.
Oh. When you had Ward, too, right?
I had Ward Emerson.
all right. So
and-
Ward.
So Ward gets
So
2
Ward
votes
wins
for
by a 2-1 vote. So Denzel Ward, which is crazy because we kept killing the Browns' pass defense all year, and now they have 2 of the 3 all-AFC North cornerbacks. But
I know.
I mean,
it is
that's
what it is.
I think we've made a critical error here, but I'm outvoted.
I would lean with Bull on this.
I think
one.
you got to have a slot corner for the slot.
Bull, I'm with you. I actually would side with
Here's
Mike
what I
Hilton
look
as
at
my
it.
vote.
I look at it, if you could, let's look at it as baseball. If I could put a shortstop at third base and a shortstop at second base too, I'm going to do it.
That's what the Guardians are trying to do, by the way.
That's fire.
What's that?
That's what the Guardians are trying to do.
Well, I know they are.
They've got about 16
But
shortstop
listen,
They're also
prospects.
putting a shortstop at first and center field and sometimes right field. depending
There's
on
a
the day.
philosophy behind
I
it.
think if you asked most defensive coordinators, would you rather have Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, or Mike Hilton as your slot corner? I think most would take Mike Hilton. That's just my thought. I don't know. Yeah.
I disagree. I would like to know.
Yeah.
I would like to ask some D coordinators
Yeah.
about that, but to me, it's like the shortstop argument. And I'm just talking defense now. I'm not obviously talking about at the plate. But if you could give me 3 shortstops between second, short, and third, you're not getting hits.
I'm taking
You're
3
stealing a
shortstops.
lot of hits. And I just feel like if you take an outside corner who's a really good cover skill corner and you throw him in the slot, I just think you're stronger for it. The guys that typically get put into slot, it's like the defensive backs. Why are they playing defensive backs? Because they can't catch the ball. Yeah. I mean,
Or they're too small.
Or they're too small. But you can look at around the NFL. There are small wide receivers that make
But
jack.
Hilton also does some things and can be a factor in the running game and do some of the things
Well, you watch him a lot closer
that
than
Ward
I do.
and Emerson don't do. But doesn't matter. That's
Okay.
fine. Let's go with Ward. All right, safety 1. That's got to be Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
It's the only one that I could slam dunk put on the team.
Yep.
The other one was Jessie
I
Bates.
didn't even wait for
but
you
I
guys
guess
to vote to put him in there. He's number
Yeah,
one.
no, he's
I think
obviously
we have
number
4
one.
different options for safety
Oh.
too, by the way.
Yeah,
Well, and mine, I think he should throw off because he is a free agent. But I just love
it
Jessie
would be Bates. If Bates was not a free agent,
I'm taking.
Well, I'll take him off there.
I'm
then.
taking Kyle Hamilton.
I put Kyle Hamilton
Hamilton's
for
probably-
Baltimore.
I put Marcus Williams, but I'm not.
Give me Kyle Hamilton.
They're pretty interchangeable. I mean, they're very good players.
Yeah. All right, so let's go with Hamilton. He got 2 votes.
He got 2 votes. Okay, so Hamilton it is. So our all defensive AFC North team is now set.
Yep. And Anthony, it's Kyle Hamilton. Normal spell. Yep. So now let's count and see how.
I got the count because I think it's exactly what I had, except for you're replacing
The slot corner.
Emerson instead of Hilton. I
Yeah,
think.
so
Can
the
we shoot the whole
Browns-
thing again?
So I'm going to pull up Bull's text. And if Bull's math is correct, adjusting 1 for the Browns and taking 1 away from the Bengals.
I think that's it.
The Bengals had 4 players.
right?
The Ravens and Steelers and Browns each had 3.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just goes to show you how close the division is. I mean,
And look, the Browns went 3-3 in the division last year, even though they finished last. It's not like they're that far off.
They've gone 3-3 the last 3 years. I think it is.
Yeah, I think isn't Kevin 500 in the
I
division?
think so. Yeah.
Which is so incredible because he's 500 in the division, under 500 out of the division, and the division is a
Beast.
bear.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
well, you do get to see the teams twice. It's hard as hell to beat somebody twice.
Normally, that just means 2 losses for the Browns.
They
In the
coming up.
past, it always did.
In the past.
It
Two
did.
L's.
It usually meant a couple of L's.
Do we do special teams?
Well, it's Justin Tucker.
Well, Tucker is a slam dunk
Yeah.
at
who's your
kickoff.
punter?
And
I don't know who the punter
Punch.
is.
Give me the fat guy from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was pretty good this year, wasn't he? The
I forgot
fat
his
guy
name.
from
I
I can't even
Pittsburgh.
think.
We all know
Is
who
the
you're talking
Ravens
about.
punter good too? I don't even know. The Bengals punter is not.
Who's your returner?
average.
That's more the fun.
You know what? Our punter wasn't bad.
Bjorkis is pretty good.
See who had the highest yards per?
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
Yeah, I think it's net. Well, the problem with yards per
I know.
is, You know,
You also have to look at inside the 20.
Right.
The Browns guy outkicked his coverage a few times. Quite a few times.
Yeah, he did.
He had too much of a leg.
Yeah, you're right. And those usually turn into bigger returns.
Yeah. So.
I bet
Yeah.
I bet
Okay,
the
you guys
Browns-
ready
Yeah.
for the highest Net average is the one we're really looking for, right?
Right.
Bjorquez, actually.
I thought
highest
so.
in the division. 48.5 yards.
Yeah, he's got a nice leg.
And Ryan Stonehouse of the Titans had a career year. He averaged 53.1 net yards per punt.
Yeah, I saw him in a couple games.
absurd.
He had one that was like 80 yard. He had an 80-yard punt.
77 yards.
77 yard punt.
Absurd.
That is nuts, man.
The return guy, I don't know. Browns.
Duvernay is very good on Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Who is Cincinnati's returner?
They used.
They were, didn't they?
They used what's his name? The little white dude. I can't think of his name right
Trent
now.
Irvin?
No, not him.
They didn't.
The other little white dude.
You mean
He's a wide receiver.
Not often you have two little white dudes on the NFL team.
Those
Wes
was the
Welker.
dudes that was killing the Browns when chasing all the rest of them went out the game.
Well, Trenton Irwin had some good games, but
Well, in fairness, though,
I can't remember the kid's name.
We weren't ready for that.
I think he used to play for Buffalo.
Duvernay returned a kick for a touchdown this year. DPJ returned a punt. So maybe you go those two as your.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I'm fine with that.
That's a good draft.
Yeah.
It is a good
I think we
draft.
did a
I
pretty
like
good job
the
with that.
draft.